Guess what, everyone? It's the little Apple Watch's birthday! Are you excited, little guy?
Yes, I finally turned 1 year old.
You did. You're getting up there.
Did I get a refresh?
Well, no, Apple doesn't quite know what to do with you.
Oh, that's okay. I'm just a baby.
Well, you know, tech ages kind of fast, so you're really more like 25 years old already.
Oh, really?
Yeah, considering that the iPhone 4 is considered obsolete now, and it's only like 4 years old, not really that old.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Yeah, I need a life. So depending on who you ask, the Apple Watch has been a flop or one of Apple's greatest hits. In terms of sales, you can't deny that the Apple Watch has done pretty well. They completely outperformed their competitors. The amount of Apple Watches sold in the first day that you could pre-order it were more watches than Android Wear had ever sold, and that had been around for like 2 years, maybe even longer. It was a very hot Christmas gift during the holidays, and it's had so much success they've been able to lower the price and add tons of watch bands, and the overall consensus is that it's the best smartwatch you can buy. I have to agree with this because I haven't yet seen a smartwatch that's been able to top it in any kind of way. It's actually the number 2 wearable right now. The only one beating it is Fitbit, which I can completely understand because Fitbit is a great activity tracker and, you know, way cheaper. It doesn't do all those great things an Apple Watch can do, but it's one of those cheaper accessories that most people can afford really easily. So I can understand why that would outsell this $300 piece of tech. So yeah, customer satisfaction is pretty high. 99 times out of 100 people keep it. There are those people that send it back. And the interesting thing I've read about most people who don't like it is that it relies too much on the smartphone, isn't fast enough, doesn't do what a smartwatch should do, but you know what? It seems like they don't really get it. Just watch pretty much any of my older videos if you want to know why a smartwatch should be dependent on a smartphone, why it shouldn't be independent, why you shouldn't have to leave your phone at home and then bring your watch and be like, yay, this is my phone now. That doesn't work. My latest video on it called Why Smartwatches Should Be Dependent explains it all. So yeah, the Apple Watch is really everything a smartwatch should be capable of. Of course, they can make it faster. They can make Siri hear you better. And of course, it's Apple. They'll make it thinner. But it doesn't sound like there's an Apple Watch refresh coming anytime soon. And if there is, it's not going to be major. In fact, it might not ever be major. Again, I've explained this in other videos, but bottom line is camera shouldn't be on there. Battery life already is fine, but I guess improve it, sure. But bottom line is all you can really improve is, you know, the basics, processor, hearing ability. That's about it. So it's a year later. What has the consensus been for all these users this past year? Well, I've come to a few conclusions. It's funny you should ask. What are those conclusions, Drew? Well, I'll tell you. Are you gonna stop talking to yourself in the middle of the night in your room? Are you gonna find time to sleep? Yes, yes, and yes. After I finish editing this. So for me, the number 1 greatest feature about the Apple Watch, you're gonna love this. A lot of people don't give this enough credit, is the ability to check what time it is. I gotta be honest with you. I didn't wear a watch before the Apple Watch, and knowing what time it is actually really helpful. I love it. Let's be honest, I'm an Apple sheep. If you're watching this, you're probably in some way an Apple sheep. If Apple sold a watch that did nothing but tell the time and it had an Apple logo on it, I would get it, and I'm sure a few of you out there would too, just for the fact that it's Apple, because Apple's great. But yeah, out of all the things I do the most on it, that's it. But there's a 3-way tie for the 3 other best things I love with this. The first thing is notification management, which to me alone is worth the price of purchase, which is, you know, $300, $400. Just being able to check of what's going on your phone without having to take it out of your pocket. It might not seem like it saves a lot of time, but you do that so much it actually does. Especially when someone's calling you. Because you get a phone call and you're like, wait, I don't need to talk to that person. Or maybe you do and you're like, definitely gonna answer that. And you can talk to them on there. It's futuristic feeling. People give you weird looks when you're talking to people on your watch. It's handy. Notification management is great. Also, my phone doesn't vibrate or ring anymore. Now I just get tapped on the arm. Love that. I would honestly just take a wristband that does that. The second best thing, you know, the 3-way tie, is the activity tracker. It's great. Tells you how long you should be standing, how many minutes you should have exercise, and then you can change your move goal for how many calories you want to burn on the watch. You can track all of those things, unlike a Fitbit, which I believe you pair to some app, unless you have the big Fitbit, which then again, you don't get to look at everything. Or maybe you do. I don't know. Fitbit owners, let me know. But I will tell you, Fitbit does not have pretty colored circles. This is a really elegant way of showing how your activity's doing that you can also look at on your phone. And you get achievements. At first I was like, wait, why would you get achievements? Video games have achievements. Why would activity give you achievements? But then I realized, wait a second, when you're playing video games, you're not really accomplishing anything real. But when you're doing activities, you are actually achieving things. You're burning calories, you're getting in better shape. So achievements in activity actually makes more sense in video games. Don't hate me, gamers. Please, I respect you, just don't get mad. Anyway, I love the way way they handle that. It's so simple, so intuitive, and it's fun. I'm not gonna lie, I'm healthier now. I look better. Believe it or not, I kind of do. It's hard to tell with this thing on. We won't get into that though. That could go south quick. And the second best thing I love about this is Apple Pay. I only got it to work recently because I live out in the boonies. Not a lot of shops have Apple Pay, but this year when they finally got it, loved it so much. Being able to just double tap and cling. It makes a pretty little noise too, and then it gives you a check mark. Oh, so good. It makes buying things fun. Handing over a debit card is so depressing. It's like, there goes everything. Now it's like, I'm in the future. Bam. So yeah, I spent a lot of money once I figured out how Apple Pay works, just because I was like, bing, bing, look. So yeah, Apple Pay is great. So those are all great features. However, there's a few things Apple has on there that I can understand why they put them on there, but I don't think they need to be there. Before I go into this, it's important to remember that it's good to have an overflow of features opposed to nothing. Not nothing. I mean, if you only had a few things the watch could do, that would be bad. But the fact that Apple puts lots of features into it is good for all of us. It's a better selling point. The biggest one is pictures. I don't see the need for why we want to put photos on the watch. Other than creating our own watch faces, you have to have a phone within the watch's proximity for the watch to work. And that phone obviously is going to have a much better display. Look at the pictures on there. Instagram on the Apple Watch. Everyone was like, look, you can get it. It works. But they're so tiny. Don't look at pictures on a watch. It's insulting to photographers or anyone. Twitter also, you're just reading tweets. Honestly, I don't use a lot of third-party apps on my watch. However, it's smart that Apple made that so that companies like Tesla or, golfing people or health kit people can take advantage of it, but it's not a popular app store. And rightfully so. There's not a whole lot you can do with the smartwatch, but by far, pictures just no, that's useless. So those are my thoughts on the Apple Watch. Let me know what you'd like to see in a future Apple Watch in the near future. There might be a refresh at WWDC 16. It's rumored, it could happen. Knowing Apple, they might want to make it as thin as possible, like those super thin watches you see. That looks like something Apple would want on people's wrists. And don't you dare say you want it to be more independent. No, it'll be stupid if it was independent. It needs the smartphone. Smartphone's not going anywhere. Wow, this kept going. Are you tired, little guy?
Yeah, you're really not shutting up.
That's true, and I'm still talking to myself. All right, this is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you in the next one.